Bienvenidos a todos. Vamos con este Zoom informativo de seguimiento.
Welcome everyone to this Zoom. It's a follow-up. We have Jaime, and it's being interpreted for English-speaking people. We have capacity for 3,000 people. Okay.
Voy a hacer un resumen de los
I
puntos de
want to
información que vamos
summarize
a
what
ir dando.
we are going to talk about
Primero voy
today.
a empezar dando
First
datos.
of all, I'd like to give some of the reimbursements. We have started the first phase of the reimbursements, and I'm going to let you know some information. It's been good. And we're going to clarify and answering doubts, questions, what we do, what happens if, this is my situation. So I am going to be answering, and Jaime will be, I'm going to be asking the questions, and Jaime will be answering. And then we are going to talk about the certification process. Okay, Jaime will explain the process, and we will show you 2 examples so we can understand, and we are in the same page. And then we are going to give you an email if you have any problems with your certification, or if there is some incongruent numbers. So you fill up and send this form. And then we're going to talk about the situation and the doubts about the reimbursements. Automatically, we are going to, we're not going to lose, but we're not going to be paid the exchange. Okay. After the great job of the technicians doing all this massive reimbursements, we're good. It seems good. We started reimbursing on the 17th of February for those who passed the KYC, the first phase, and we have 1/3 done. We have reimbursed 1/3 of the people who have passed the KYC. So it seems good. Probably by the 24th, every single initial investment will be reimbursed, and so we're clear to go on to the second phase. So we're working at a good pace, and we're going to talk a little bit about the doubts, right, Jaime? The doubts, for example, what happens if I moved?
Tenía un
And
domicilio
I
concreto
have
y
another
he cambiado.
address.
Por lo tanto, ¿qué hacen en ese caso, Jaime?
So what do we do in this case, Jaime? Well, we have a lot of doubts like this one. Good evening, everyone. Obviously, if you have moved, you would have to send a proof that you have changed, that you have moved. And this is something easily done. You don't have to worry about this. Okay, we have to do something else, something different than everyone else who have not moved, but it's something easily done. I don't know. Maybe your identification card has expired.
Claro, pues te mando una fotocopia del DNI y manda pues el papelito ese de cuando uno se está.
You just need a copy of your ID, and if you're from another country, it's the same thing. It's a document that you can send, and even if you have a paper that says that you are getting a new car, a new ID, that works. Okay, we can use our passport and we can use a ID card.
Hay un procedimiento que debería ser inicial cuando uno vaya a solicitar algo. Primero
When
que
you're
miren su
going to
perfil
request
y que
something,
compruebe cuál fue la
first,
documentación que aportó.
you should
cuál fue la
see your profile
Pues,
and see what is
Si
the
usted aporta un
information you
pasaporte, no
provided.
aporte ahora el
If you
documento nacional
provided
de identidad.
the passport,
va a haber problemas,
please do
claro.
not
Porque
not
es un
change
problema que es
your
subsanable.
ID.
Pues eso
Keep
se
using
salva y
your
ya está, ¿no?
passport,
Pero
but
Un poco más de
it's
tiempo,
something
pero
that
se
it's
van
easily
resolviendo.
solved. It'll take a little bit more time, but it's easily solved.
Pues estamos a ese ritmo ya de un
We
tercio.
we have a good pace, and we have already reimbursed 1/3 of all the people who have already passed the first phase of the KYC.
Pero te sigue llegando luego el correo de otras etapas.
Some of you are still receiving mails to provide this information. Yeah, that can happen. That may happen. Or maybe you haven't received the second phase, the mail of the second phase of the KYC. And in between, you request a reimbursement, so you will receive again the first, to provide the first information you provided. The most easy thing to do is if you have a file on your computer and resend that file. So if you have received a mail and you send the information and you receive again the mail of the information you already sent, just send it again. In your outbox tray, you would have the mail you sent the first time. We'll send it again. That way, we avoid any further problems.
Muy bien.
Solucionamos el problema mucho más rápido.
Yeah.
Bien, bueno, pues todas esas son las típicas consultas que, bueno, que vamos resolviendo también de forma
These
privada o
are
a través de soporte.
the doubts we have been receiving.
Me gustaría indicar, bueno, eso
I'd like
la indiques, ¿no? Que para evitar, a ver, el soporte siempre funciona.
okay, support is it's always there, but it's collapsing because of the volume of mails and the amount of the quantity of work they have, the amount of work they have. For this last proceeding, they are going to provide you an email to speed up this process. Because if it goes to support, it'll take more time. But it'll be posted on Telegram. It's certificado at mind.capital. So let's explain the certificate problem, the process.
Vamos un poco, Jaime, si te parece, a explicar.
Jaime, would you explain what's the process? And just give me a second, and we will share it later. We're going to provide with 2 examples. Okay, it's quite simple. For example, you go to a restaurant 4 or 5, and you ask for the check. They bring the check. Obviously, you have to check and review that, the bill, and we try to solve. Might be there might be a mistake, but we always try to solve them. So if you let us know that there is a mistake, we will solve it as soon as possible. We are going to show you the email address in the chat, certificado arroba, certificado at mind.capital.
Lo vamos viendo. Certificado es un documento sencillo que lo único que detalla es un
Desde
poco.
el principio, Guillermo, por favor, el certificado.
Okay, from the very beginning, if you don't mind with the certificate. So that you can see there that you have that the balance and the documents, they correspond to the person that is actually the user.
El DNI, pasaporte, la identidad, el email con el cual se registró, su dirección aparecerá, después aparecerán las compras, en la suma de todas las compras, ¿de acuerdo? Después aparecerán los reembolsos en la suma de todo el dinero que ha sacado de la plataforma.
Y puedes bajar un poco el certificado para que lo veamos todos y lo que es la parte de abajo.
Viendo, ¿vale?
Okay.
Después te viene el saldo. Bueno, el saldo quizá es el
You
saldo.
see here the balance. The balance is part of the deposits. And we see the balance here in the platform. And we see that there is a total of 330 Bitcoin. 150 have been withdrawn. Now there are many varieties. In this case, you somewhat withdrew 150.
De 150, la cantidad reembolsada será la diferencia, que son los 100.
The quantity is the difference of what you purchased in the first time and what you have withdrawn. How much can you withdraw? 180. Okay. Once you agree with these figures, you click and immediately it'll be deposited in your bank account.
Es automático. Ese automatismo dependerá del
íntegra, y recordemos que sin el 3% de comisión, por supuesto, la cantidad íntegra que corresponda para la devolución del capital aportado desde el exterior, siempre recordemos, desde el exterior.
It's going to be reimbursed 140 and 180, and the balance was 191. Then what you would see there is 11.71. So maybe that is something that some exchange is taking or something like that. So it's something that you can actually use. And then if you keep going, you can see the detail. It says here that I state that the situation is corresponds to my user account, etc., including the refund, compensation, etc., etc. So that this is for everybody to know exactly what the platform has done. You know, we'll try to go a bit slower. Yeah, they were just reading what it said here in the certificate itself. So it only says that the actual financial situation they declare is correct and it corresponds to the user. And here you will have the track record for all the transactions that you have carried out. Maybe you know that you can include this in 5 refunds or just 1 or 2 or whatever. Okay, and they will be certified. So when you accept, then if you agree, obviously you can you accept. If that is not the case, then you can take a look at it, but you don't need to accept it. You don't have to agree. You know, maybe you're saying, I believe that on August 15th I sold something and it's not reflected, that whatever it is. So, but in principle, we have really studied the amounts, and everything should be reflecting the amounts for each one of the different users and the different transactions, so that you know exactly what your balance is. And if you don't agree, based on whatever reasons you may have, because you know, obviously there's a probability for errors or for misstatements, you can just let us know, or maybe we can clarify the situation, whatever the situation is. But you know, we will probably include this in the chat. You know, this is the address. This is certificado at mind.capital. we have seen some certificates for people that had no yield, no returns. And this is what we, the cases that we've been talking about that we have been, we started paying from this past Wednesday. And this is what we're saying. We still have until the 24th to cover this first phase, but we're going to see a certificate for someone that has already made some returns, actually, who had a profit. And well, I just want to say that through this certificate, only 2 people can print it out. Those that have already passed the KYC, and they have the right to receive a refund, a compensation refund. And then there are some people that have not passed the KYC, or they have passed it, it depends. But they do have benefits, they have profits in the platform. And this will be the exact same case. We can see it here. We have purchases, acquisitions for 1,100. We have, you can see here, and you see here the profit 310, or earnings 310. So you can see here the yield that you have obtained is 28.18%. So how much can you take out? 0. Maybe in some cases they will have some more, and they may be able to withdraw it or not, but would say, because you have a percentage that has been stated based on the profit or the actual yield. You can see the certificate, it states everything here. So you had profits, as we said before. 2/3 of the users actually made some profit. So at any moment, they can get their certificate and they can retire a certain percentage there. If you do not agree with the certificate, you can just go ahead and write to the address that we gave you before and tell us, that there's been a mistake here or this or that. And just to answer some questions based on the certificates, some people that have actually passed the KYC and they haven't received the certificate yet. That is why we have this email address that we just gave you to resolve these individual cases that obviously there may be some individual errors, and we will resolve them apart, and through this email. Again, certificado@mind.capital. But before the 24th, everything will be resolved. So maybe some people did not receive the certificate, and maybe that is because you may have certain time period that, for you to receive the certificate, but you should receive it throughout this week. And again, you can go to your profile and you will have the certificate there. You see your personal data and you can click in there. Or if not, after the 24th, automatically it will be reflected there. So maybe there's a time delay there for some cases, because there's a lot of people, that we have making transactions in this platform. So there may be a time delay, but just to finish with what I was saying before, the certificate, there are 2 types of certificates. One would be for 2/3 of the people, those that they have made some earnings, and you will have the percentage of profit there, or the yield. And then there's some other type of persons who until right now have not obtained a yield. And then once they pass the KYC, they will have this compensation refund that we call a reimbursement. And those are the 2 main cases that we're going to find. But again, there's a probability for error since we have so many people, but we'll explain everything, and obviously we'll resolve everything as we can, but there shouldn't be that many errors. And whatever mistakes or misstatements you may find, we'll try to resolve them step by step. Okay, that was what we had to say with regards to the certificates. Again, we have this email address. You'll have it in the chat. and we'll keep going, throughout February 24 with everybody that has passed the KYC. But I wanted to talk about something else, where there were some questions or concerns. And when we closed the arbitrage part in February, we gave a time period of 60 days in order to request the refunds. But you cannot request a partial refund. It's all or nothing in this case. And this has been done because of those people, they have a network, and they have benefits or profits and compensation in the exchange. And again, through Zaken or through any exchanges, actually. So the decision of the leader should be where if you have an interest in the exchange, there is a commercial and economic interest, you should have these 60 days to make up your mind, where you're still interested in maintain this or not. But that is something that the leader will have, a decision that the leader will have to make. Whether to lose the commissions, that you could get from the exchange, because they will be lower and lower, of course, because your network will be smaller and smaller. So that is a decision that the leader has to make. And again, that is based on the capital they have, and whether they have the need to move it or reinvest it or whatever, or just maintain it there in order to obtain their earnings, through the network. Because in order to obtain your network benefits, you need to have at least $100 in MC coin. But again, it has to be all or nothing. It cannot be partial refund. We cannot make any changes in terms of the development, because we're trying to do all this reimbursement and refunding part. And with the new developments, we'll see how we commercialize that. With the new products, we are developing a new product that we already talked about that the other day, and that is a decision to be made by by each one of the different leaders. But Oscar, just to let you know, is not only the decision of each leader. Is if you have 60 days, the leader should be the last one to abandon the ship. But if you want to abandon the platform, obviously you forfeit the rights that you had in the platform. But what we said is, in principle, no one is going to lose here. But again, we cannot see individually at each one of the different cases, because that would be impossible. So we were trying to look for the good, for the common good of the community and of most users. And obviously, there may be some individual persons that would be not as favored, actually. But we are just trying to look for the common good. And, if you want to obtain your refund, you have to wait for these 60 days. And that's it. There was no other way that we could do this, actually. This is the most reasonable way of doing it, and the faster way of doing it as well. So we'll keep going with the process, as we said. On the 24th, we finished with this phase 1. And then we have Gonzalo. How are you? Okay, the way I understand it, maybe there's a question that I can resolve for you. First of all, I will ask you to put the email again, to show it again for the certificates, and just keep it on the screen for a while so people can write it down. Please write it down, this email address that is going to be shown in the chat again. Okay, it's again certificado@mind.capital. Okay, it's in the chat again. Okay, so we're going to try and retain this here until the end. And we'll do a screenshot. I will take a screenshot and we'll resend it to all of you. We'll put it on the screen. So it's going to be there for you to see at all times. Okay, again, certificado@mind.capital.
Se te corta la voz, padre.
Okay, there's some problems with the audio coming from Gonzalo. Actually, his microphone is not working right now. Okay, now. So again, we're going to try and put this email address to show it on the screen. Let's see if we can share the screen showing the email. And we'll try to keep it in there for a long time. Okay, there you go. You can see it now on the screen. Again, certificado@mind.capital. You can write it down, you know, if you detect any email, any errors, actually any misstatements in the certificate, you have to write to this email address to state this error, okay? And we'll verify whether there was actually an error or misstatement. Okay, if you detect, if you received any errors or whatever, write to this email address. And what is this certificate? It's just the verification of what was the original, the initial capital, and what were the different withdrawals. And this is again for this, in this phase one, this is the refund that we can, from Mind Capital, we can actually pay to you, okay? So it's okay, I put 10, yes, I received my 10 back, yes, okay, that is fine, so accept. Is that all of my account? No, that is different. That would be the balance that you have from the different purchases that you've made. So what will happen with that? We'll try, you know, as hard as we can to every person that has passed it, that have passed actually the KYC, so that we can unblock this part of the money from the different exchanges to do an additional settlement. We don't know exactly when and what amount. We believe that it will be around September, just to try to do it at once and not, you know, in smallest amounts. And then any possible earnings or gains that you had, you know, with any profits, we'll try to reimburse them to you. So we don't know how much that is going to be, whether it's 4%, 10%, whatever of all the amount. But again, we need to recognize that there's still, you know, part of the capital that you wanted to make and that has not been deposited. But that does not mean that maybe if you made 8%, if you gain 8%, and then we're going to share or actually to pay back in total 14, it doesn't mean that we're not going to get the additional 8% until we reach the 14%. So, you know, we're going to, that will mean that we will settle 80%. Imagine, okay, but whoever is not actually getting the repayment right now, and some of them are making money, some of them are losing money, etc. But some of them, or those that are actually making money, they may actually make more money. But that will be in the second phase. So let's make sure that we conclude with the first phase and that we complete it. Okay. So now you're going to recover all of their money, and what we are trying to do here is for the people that came in last, actually. And again, we lost the audio from Gonzalo. Okay, so that would be immediately repaid or paid back. So you will have no problems, no damages to you. So who's going to have some damages? Those that have been making money and who have profits that are higher and who have been there for a longer period of time. And we'll try to make sure that we can refund that in September. This is not a full commitment because we depend on the different exchanges and for them to accept these KYCs that we are requesting. That's why we are trying to have these KYCs completed and being perfect, okay? Because if they're not perfect, you're not going to be able to go through to the second phase, because that is for sure that the exchanges are not going to let us unblock these monies. Okay, but we will try to make sure that all of you have at least all of the initial capital. Okay, but we'll probably have a settlement, you know, later on. So anyway, you will receive everything that you have, all the initial capital, but we will try to have in September the rest of it. But what can you do with your money? You can change it to Bitcoin and then do whatever you want with it. You can move it to another exchange. You can withdraw it, or this is my advice, go to Zaken. Okay, I've been talking about it for the past few days. It's not that we have any interest there or anything like that. Okay, they only charge you 1% when you enter the market and 1% when you exit.
And that's 1% only pays the expenses of the exchange. We don't keep any that 1%. I just give you that advice because I want you to make money. Those who have not earned a lot of money or have not at all, I want you to take this advice. So by the second phase of the KYC, I would like you to make more profit, and you will earn a lot of profits investing in Zaken. We have always offered situations for people to earn money. That's our biggest interest. So the audio is off. Okay. So he's asking what we have missed. So, in summary, please consider the possibility of staying in Mind Capital. Mind Capital is up and running and will pay profits as we unblock the money and the different exchanges. But we are still working, and we are earning money. We are very proud to say that people who stay in Mind Capital make money. We don't have any legal problem, no lawsuits, anything. No one is losing money in Mind Capital. And 2/3 are already earning money, making profits. And those who have not earned money yet, they are going to make a lot of money by September. Audio's cut off again.
Ahora.
So we're waiting.
Gonzalo, ¿se te escucha? Ahora sí.
¿Ahora se me escucha?
Sí, se te escucha. No se te ve, pero se te escucha.
Okay, now.
Estoy recargando. Bien, simplemente terminar con eso. O sea, mi consejo absoluto.
I wanted to finish with that. Please earn money with Zaken. We have been investing in Zaken for 3 months, and I've earned more than 200% more, way more that I would have earned in the arbitrage. We are earning more than we would have earned with the arbitrage. I want everyone to make profits in the arbitrage. In this first phase, everyone will get the initial investment, and those leaving Mind Capital, at least they're leaving with their initial investment, and the others will leave with their profits. Audio's been cut off again.
Ahora sí, ahora sí.
Bien, simplemente despedirme con este comentario. Nadie va a perder en Mind Capital.
No one is going to lose money in Mind Capital. We are paying all our people, our investors, those who have completed their KYC. And this first phase, in this first phase, we will pay everyone the initial reimbursement. And if you spot any mistake in your certificate, just send them an email to this email address. If I have invested 10 and I have withdrawn 4, you need to be paid 6, and that's it. If I entered with 10 and I've withdrawn 4, I need to be paid 6, and that is what we're going to pay. That's bottom line. That's the idea. Everything else will be solved later on. Okay. I would like to thank you. I would like to thank the work of the leaders. You are receiving, all the complaints, all the doubts, all the questions, and I understand that that job is very important, and we are working on the communications. We are going to have frequently Zooms, and we are going to communicate new information in the social media. And I'd like to thank those leaders who have, and all the users, given the circumstances and the changes and the situation we find ourselves with that capital blocked. Please do not doubt do not doubt, because we are trying to get the most possible, the most profits. And I would like to thank you, your patience in this process. We have things are speeding up lately. We have already paid an initial investment to 1/3 of the investors, and we are going to pay profits after summer. So we will continue working with those products. We're absolutely delighted with our products and the developments that's happening as we speak. I want to thank support and all the technicians. Jaime, do you want to say something? No, I just wanted to acknowledge and thank all the people attending this. We are gaining pace. I know this is complicated, and we are solving all the mistakes. We are incurring, although there are not many, and we're doing the best we can. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for your attendance, and we will keep updating you. Okay. Well, thank you very much.